Hey guys, what is up? Um, so I don't really know how to start this off because I I'm having some thoughts, just about the past year, like last year, like this time last year. If you guys picking up what I'm putting down, you know, it's it feels so weird to think about that time because on one hand, I was so insanely miserable, but on the other hand, that's probably the last time that I'll have been in such a big group setting with those people and those and I love the people I was with last year, and it just makes me sad to think about that I couldn't really I couldn't really enjoy it, enjoy the time that I was able to have with them because I was so preoccupied on something else, somebody else. Uh, and it just makes me sad because those people were really amazing, and I love them to death. And I'm not really as close as with most of them anymore. And honestly, like like I said, I love them to death, but sometimes I just didn't feel I just didn't know what I felt like I should have been, because like all my life I've had different friend groups, and I've never really felt like I fit into one of them. But honestly, last year, that friend group was my favorite one, ever I've ever been in, because it was just really fun, and they managed to diminish that feeling a lot. That doesn't mean that wasn't there, but it was definitely not as present as it was ever before. So, I'm really happy that I was able to have that time with them. And, going back to what I said earlier about how it feels weird to think about that time, it feels so weird because, I know around this time, I I wasn't as miserable as I was like, a month, a month ago. If it was last year, a month ago, like October 2024, I wasn't as miserable here. But when I think about it, there was so much good stuff going on, during that time, and I just really wasn't able to see it. Um, I realized I spent a lot of last year just thinking about the bad stuff that was messing me up, and I didn't really get to appreciate the people that I had around me, and I'm probably not gonna be able to get that again, which sucks. I'm glad I had freshman year with them because that was a better time for me, and it was definitely more enjoyable. But like when I think about sophomore year now, like it feels it feels fun. Like it was not fun for me at all in the moment. But when I think about everything that was going on, all of the jokes on social media, all of the stupid brain rot that was going on, that was fun. And you know, those were the things that definitely helped me during that time. And when I think about it, it's just I I know in the moment I didn't really have anything else on my mind. It was always one thing, one person. Uh but I just wish I would have been able to take it all in some more, because now it's not gone, obviously, 'cause I still love all those people. I still talk to most of them, but it's just not the same anymore, it's junior year now, and we're not on campus all day anymore, and we're not forced to spend our mornings there for 3 hours at a time. just together, talking and doing homework that we didn't want to do the day before, playing Roblox on our school computers. And I know this sounds really stupid and corny, but it should have been a good time, but I had my mind on the wrong place. Instead of appreciating it, I was focused on the things that were making it worse for me. And all that did was make it even more worse for me. So, you know, and those people in that group, they were the people who got me through that. Like, I'll always be so grateful for having them as my support system during that time. Especially Caitlin. I just felt really bad because I just felt so miserable because I would talk about it nonstop. If we were texting, it was probably about that. And even like at school, there were things I didn't want to say aloud, so I would text them, and I felt bad because I realize now that it was selfish of me because I was also dragging them out of the moment because I felt I didn't feel good. And now that I think about it, that wasn't fair of me to do. I didn't really think about that, but I made mistakes, guys. Everybody did. Everybody does. Can't do much about it. I live with it and learn from it. So that whole time was just a whole learning period for me. I don't know. I think going through it was horrible, but I'm really grateful that all that happened because it just made me learn a lot and it just taught me a lot. And like, I don't think I would be who I am today now without having gone through that. So like, I'm grateful for that aspect of it. At the same time, I just feel bad because like I said, I wasn't really able to be in the moment because I was just so always in my head. And like, I've always been kind of quiet. Like, they definitely got me talking, and they made me feel really comfortable, and I was able to be myself around them completely. And so there was that. But at the same time, like, I realize now that when I wasn't talking, when I just felt really crappy, like, I think it was more noticeable than I thought, because I remember one time one of them described me as always being in my head, or being like in my own little world or something like that. And I didn't think much of it like when I first heard it, because like, I was always in my own little world. Like, it wasn't a little world I wanted, but and that wasn't wrong. But like, as I've like looked back on that time, I realized like what I should have been doing instead of what I was. Well, I think what I did, I don't think what I did was wrong, because I think that's helped me as a person much more than anything just little jokes could have done for me. I'm glad that we had the little jokes because they were really funny and they brought me happiness in a time where I didn't really feel that happy most of the time. But like, like, I don't even know. It's just strange to think about how in 1 year, not even 1 year, it was 6 months. 6 months from the beginning to the end. How that has like impacted me in my life like so much more. Like, since that happened, I've spent the whole year reflecting on that, dude. Like, past year, I I went silent about it after a while, just because what am I supposed to say about it to my friends when they've already heard everything, and there's not anything else left to say, at least to them. Uh, so you just kind of go quiet, and you just sit with it alone, and you just deal with it on your own. And I think I think that part's like the roughest part, because at least when it's all going on, when it's all just happened, you're able. They understand why you're talking to them, why you're going to people for help, why you're feeling bad about it. But then time keeps going, and everybody keeps going, and then it's just you, and you're still left alone on this thing that's impacted you a whole lot, that you still haven't let go of, despite all the time that's passed. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody moves at their own pace and all that. But it just felt kind of lonely, because like I said, you can't really, it just gets to a point, whereas it really does just get to be you, and how you're able to process everything, and how you're able to deal with everything. And I don't know, I just think, I don't even know. Sorry, it's just, I feel so corny. Like, this is my truth, guys. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't know. Most everybody at my school, all of my friends at my school, know what was going on. Even Chloe, I love Chloe. She was so sweet to me during all that, and she helped me so much. And even now, all my friends are so funny about it now. I love them all. It's like, I feel like I'm past it now for the most part, because like, I've spent the past year thinking about it and reflecting, and with that, you naturally start to get over it. And like, if you told me at the beginning of this year that I would have been over it, I would have been hopeful that that was the truth, because that was what I was hoping to do. I was hoping to be over it by a few months at most. And now it's about to be December and I'm making this video, so that's just the way it goes. So it's just strange to think about how such a small period of your life, in my 16 years of living, my 15th, when I was 15, that was the most impactful time for me, because it was just so many lessons. And then when I turned 16, I just kind of wanted to leave that all behind. But when it's still in your mind, you can't really do that, because if you still think about it, you can't really. Well, it's not. I feel like that's still a point where I haven't really gotten to, not thinking about it. But I definitely feel a lot better about it than I did, say, even May, like June, that time. Like, I feel like I've processed a lot of it, and I've able to like think about it and reflect on all that, on how I was wrong, on how things that shouldn't have happened, and like what my role was and all that, because self-reflection, you gotta do that in order to be able to learn and grow from your mistakes. And it's like a point where you have to realize that it's not all on one person. Both people had something to do with it, and it's not fair to just blame it on the other person like I was doing, because I was hurt. I was really hurt, and in my mind, it was the other person's fault, which obviously I know now wasn't the case. Well, You guys know what I mean. I had my role in it, but you know, it's just it's just strange because I feel like there's been so many things that have happened in my life that, and I know I've had a good life. I haven't had a lot of issues, and I know there's some people like in my grade that have had some real messed up things happen to them, and I'm grateful that not all of that has happened to me, and I haven't had to deal with any of that. But that doesn't mean that my life has been perfect, you know? Like, there's still been stuff that's happened and big mistakes I have made that I haven't told anybody, honestly. But I feel like those are the ones that are most impactful. And, like, I don't tell them because I'm ashamed, because I know they were wrong. And it's just, like, I've dealt with that internally, and I don't really see any point in telling other people, especially when all it might do is change how people feel about me. Which, I know it's like, it's strange how one's opinion can change, and I know this heavily applies to me because I know I can switch up very quickly, like, without really caring, honestly, and that's really bad, but it's the truth. Like, just how something that somebody does, like, despite how long you've known a person, how, like, close you guys are, if they've done something really bad, then you're naturally, like, at least for me, like, it's like, well, that's kind of crazy, and then, like, you just find out about it, and then it just doesn't really feel the same, you know? Like, you catch my drift. I don't really know what I'm trying to say, but, you know, it's just, this past year has been a lot, and, you know, I think that everything does happen for a reason, whether or not it's to teach you a lesson, whether or not, I don't know. I just think it's important to go through everything that life throws at you, and to just take what you can from it and learn to be better, you know? And I know that's kind of rich coming from me because I'm not the best person, honestly. I've said a lot of mean things, especially since high school started, and I've always felt guilty about it, but it's just something that's been, like, ingrained in me, and, like, I don't know how to stop. And I've tried, and it just never worked out. You know, like, there's people that I could never switch up on, because those are the people that have supported me through my worst times, and no matter what, I'll always be really grateful for that. For them being there for me when it felt like I didn't have anybody. But now I see that I did, and I had an amazing group of friends who were all there for me and cheered me up when I needed it the most. So I'm really grateful to my friends from last year. I say that like I don't talk to all of them still. I still love all of them and I still talk to them all. Maybe just not as much, but my love's still there for them. Anyways, that's all. I don't really know what I was trying to say with this. I just wanted to say something, you know? That's all.